shortly. Just as a welcome and introduction, we all know the serious nature of events that are occurring around the world and have reached us on our shores here in the UK. The coronavirus is spreading. It's something that the health professionals are giving us guidance on, and it's something that is not really we can deal with right now as from a medicinal side. So for this reason, we have been guided by the government to take certain precautionary measures and preventive factors that will help the containment of this virus, this illness that is now afflicting thousands of people and will soon be into the millions. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for protection, for well-being, for goodness, for all of us. Without further ado, I would like to invite on Sheikha Noshin Gul, the chairperson of Guidance Hub, a charity based in North Manchester in the United Kingdom, and she will be explaining and addressing you on the changes that have taken place and the decisions that have been made with consultation from certain bodies and organizations. So I'll hand over you shortly to Sheikha Noshin Gul.
Assalamu alaikum. It is with a heavy heart and great sadness that we make the following announcements. In light of the advice given regarding the coronavirus COVID-19 from our esteemed scholars, the government and the medical professionals, the Board of Trustees at Guidance Hub have taken the decision to suspend all in-person activities at the Waterloo Centre until further notice. This has been a very difficult decision for us to undertake, and it has not been something that we have taken lightly. Due to the serious nature of this crisis, we have taken these extreme measures in order to limit the exposure to the public. The following activities will be suspended with immediate effect. All educational programs will be suspended, including the Islam Foundational Diploma courses, Islamic Studies classes for the youth, and our Tajweed classes. Our supplementary school for children, the Manchester Quran Academy, had its last day yesterday on Thursday, the 19th of March 2020. The children are receiving special learning packs and supportive guidance so that they can study from home. The gatherings, all weekly gatherings and monthly spiritual gatherings will be suspended, including the weekly gathering for men and the monthly Ladies' Burda Night. All community activities and sporting initiatives will also be suspended, including the ladies' karate, the men's weekly football, the ESOL classes, the ladies' coffee morning, the monthly business forum, and the children's Irshad classes, and the children's boxercise. Wherever possible, we are making provisions to facilitate online courses and seminars so that people may benefit. This has been an extremely difficult course of action that has been taken, as it has always been our intention and founding principle to serve the needs of the community. With this in mind, we will be launching a number of new initiatives to help people through this difficult time, some of which include our GH COVID-19 response. We will be setting up an initiative to help the elderly, the most vulnerable in our community, the homeless, and those in self-isolation. The aim of this initiative will be to provide any help and support they may need, including helping them with shopping, for food, medical supplies, and general advice and support. This service will cover the Greater Manchester area. Our online initiatives. We are currently in the process of arranging online webinars and live streams to cater for the educational and spiritual needs of the community. The government and health bodies have advised people that they should remain at home wherever possible during this current period to reduce their movement to an absolute minimum. The elderly and anyone with underlying issues have been advised to limit their contact with others as much as possible. We encourage everyone to adhere to all the health advice from the respective governmental institutions, especially the recommendation on good hygiene practices, including washing their hands regularly and the use of hand sanitizers. We will be continuously monitoring the situation and updating our guidelines. We hope to provide an update to everyone as soon as possible, and if there are any other further developments, we will be giving you an update. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives our many shortcomings, facilitates good for us, and protects us from all harm. Ameen. This is a message on behalf of all of the Board of Trustees here at Guidance Hub. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you all safe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala envelop you in His love, His kindness and mercy. Inshallah, I will be asking Sheikh Wasim to come back and deliver a short reminder.
Dear viewers, students, colleagues, elders and youngsters, our listeners out there, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh once again. I hope this finds you all in the best state of faith, health and safety. I'd like to thank Sheikh Nosheen Gul for her statement and all the team here at Guidance Hub and everyone who's advised us, especially the health professionals and councils of mosques and organisations in the UK. I also pray for the well-being of everyone in the UK and around the world. The sacred law of Islam regards preservation of life amongst its highest objectives. What that means is that the rulings we follow, which are from Allah Almighty, are governed by a clear goal in mind, many goals. One of those goals is the preservation of health and life for everyone. There have been epidemics and pandemics throughout history. During the mid-17th century in the UK, we had the bubonic plague in London, a topic I studied at school as a teenager, and some of you may well have also done that. And as part of our learning, we even visited the village of Eam in Derbyshire because it was affected by the plague due to a delivery of a cloth to a merchant, a tailor there, and then the whole village became afflicted by the plague. Several years later, I visited again to the village of Eam as part of a school trip, but I was working at the time. I'd like to quote something I read regarding the village of Eam as I was reading about stuff all this time. It's something that actually came back into my mind when all this started, because it's something I studied at school, and some of you may have thought of this as well. It says, as the disease spread, the villagers turned for leadership to their rector, the Reverend William Mompesson, and the rejected Puritan minister Thomas Stanley. They introduced a number of precautions to slow the spread of the illness from May 1666. The measures included the arrangement that families were to bury their own deceased and relocation of religious services to the natural amphitheatre of Cooklet Delft, allowing villagers to separate themselves and so reducing the risk of infection. Perhaps the best known decision was to quarantine the entire village to prevent further spread of the disease. Now the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may peace and blessings be upon him, guided us to quarantine 1400 years ago, and this is now becoming common knowledge among Muslims as this is shared far and wide across the world through various platforms. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised on cleanliness and hygiene, and again this is known to all Muslims and is very much a hallmark of the prophetic practices. I quote here to you an oft-mentioned saying of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said, "Purification is half of faith." Never has this been more important and relevant to us in our lives. We read in the Quran as well, surely Allah loves the ones constantly repenting, and He loves the ones constantly purifying themselves. Surah Baqarah, ayah number 222. We must remember that physical cleanliness is a reminder and linked to spiritual cleanliness. And as we have just read the Quranic verse, in the Quranic verse, Allah loves those who are oft repentant. The government here in the UK and other parts of the world has closed down pubs, clubs, bars and places of socializing, licensed places of socializing and entertainment. We are told now to wash our hands more than ever and to wash almost nothing. We are being told to almost nothing. We are being told to pray, and we are all coming together and everyone's praying and wishing other well. As Muslims, this is not anything new to our lives or our teachings, or rather I say this should not be anything new to our lives and our teachings, because this is who we are as Muslims. And turning away from our teachings will and has only brought us misery and unhappiness. And when we turn back to the commands of Allah and the example of His Messenger ﷺ, we will bring ourselves joy, justice and well-being. This is an opportunity to turn to Allah and realize that He is the provider, He is the protector, and ultimately the one in control of everything. On Fridays, which was the day that's preceded, Muslims across the world recite Surah Al-Kahf. One of the amazing stories mentioned in this, the 18th chapter of the Noble Quran, is the story of Prophet Musa alayhi salam and Khidr, may Allah be pleased with him, a knowledgeable, wise, pious man. It's a beautiful reminder to us all that Allah has wisdom in all that He does in this story. When Khidr in this story damaged the boat of poor people, killed an innocent child, and helped immoral people after being rudely engaged and spoken to, on each occasion Musa alayhi salam, the Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, objected and didn't agree with the decision of Khidr. Khidr understood and had knowledge of what was happening and duly explained to Musa alayhi salam at the end why he had done those particular things, after which Musa alayhi salam submitted and understood why Khidr, may Allah be pleased with him, had done, and he had done the right thing. It is also narrated to us by Imam Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari, rahimahullah ta'ala, the great hadith scholar, that Sayyidah Aisha said, I asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the plague. He said, that was a means of torture which Allah used to send upon whomsoever He wished. But He made it a source of mercy for the believers. For anyone who is residing in a town in which this disease is present and remains there and does not leave that town, but has patience and hopes for Allah's reward, and knows that nothing will befall him except what Allah has written for him, then he will get such a reward as that of a martyr. This is a beautiful hadith which not only mentions relying upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also taking the means and finding this balance. Where this leaves us today as Muslims, as citizens of the UK in our situation, if we have faith and patience, is a win-win situation. We must take all the means of preventive measures, as outlined by health professionals. This is part of our faith and practice as Muslims. Any neglect of these preventive measures is a shortcoming and iniquity for us as Muslims. I repeat, any neglect of these preventive measures is a shortcoming and iniquity for us as Muslims. At the same time, as mentioned before, we fully believe and trust in Allah's power and control over all things. As Allah Almighty says in the Quran, speaking of how the believers respond, وَلَنْ يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا. Nothing will afflict us except what Allah has decreed for us. هُوَ مَوْلَانَا. He is our protector. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And upon Allah, let the believers rely. Surah Tawbah, Ayah 51. And this is echoed in the hadith, the saying of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ when he was addressing his young cousin, Abdullah, the son of Abbas, may Allah please with them both. He said, وَمَا أَصَابَكَ لَمْ يَكُنْ لِيُخْطِئَكَ. And what afflicts you was never going to miss you. وَمَا أَخْطَأَكَ لَمْ يَكُنْ لِيُصِيبَكَ. And what misses you was never going to afflict you. رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامِ وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفِ. The pens have been lifted and the pages have dried. It is incumbent on us as Muslims to understand these hadith and Quranic ayat together by taking the means to protect ourselves and trusting upon Allah at the same time. Just like the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the great companion Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah please with him, did so during the Hijrah. And when they went to the cave of Thawr, and the Quraysh were searching for them to kill them. After the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala anhum had taken all the means necessary, and this is detailed in how Abu Bakr went in and filled any holes and made sure there were no footprints outside. They took the means. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, no one greater in this ummah than those two, sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa radiyallahu anhu. What happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there was no more they could do. And Abu Bakr was worried. And this is our state. We're worried. We get worried sometimes. It's human nature. Don't feel that strong. But what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed some beautiful verses of the Quran and told us and clarified for us what the Prophet said as well. Allah revealed, if you do not aid the Prophet, Allah has already aided him when those who disbelieved had driven him out of Makkah. As one of the two in the cave. When they were in the cave, and he said to his companion, La tahzan, inna Allah ma'ana. Do not grieve, indeed Allah is with us. And Allah sent down His tranquility upon them and supported him with armies you do not see, i.e. with angels you do not see. Surah Tawbah, ayah number 40. Dear brothers and sisters, dear listeners, Allah is with you. But the question is, are you with Allah? Difficult times enable us Muslims to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and feel the need to call upon Him. Among our greatest means, as part of those preventive measures, as part of the trust upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the greatest means for well-being, for survival, for cure, for protection, is calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is making supplication and dua. If anything occurred that distressed or concerned the Prophet ﷺ to a large degree, he hastened to the salah, the ritual prayer. In times of fear, panic, anguish, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam can yafza'u, rush to the prayer sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was the prayer that he resorted to. We must therefore follow this practice and not fall short of making sure we pray 5 times a day and more. Increase in your salutations upon the Prophet ﷺ, sending greetings upon him, durood and salawat and salutations, is a means of cure and relief and well-being. Books like Dala'il al-Khairat, the Guide to Goodness of Imam al-Jazuli, or the Qasida Burda of Imam al-Busiri, a poem in praise of the Prophet ﷺ, are treasures that we must take from in this time of need to seek cure and protection. It is a time of istighfar, of seeking forgiveness, my dear brothers and sisters. Seeking forgiveness, as the Prophet ﷺ told us and clarified for us, grants relief from difficulties and hardships. It is a time to help others, especially the vulnerable, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you if you help others. Allah will give you relief when you help others. As the Prophet ﷺ told us in a hadith, as mentioned by Imam Nawawi in his hadith, 40 hadith collection, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to help His servant, is continually in the aid of His servant, as long as His servant is helping someone else. Subhanallah. If we help others, Allah is helping you. In a similar wording, and also in the 40 hadith of Imam Nawawi, whoever relieves a difficulty from a believer in this world, Allah will relieve a difficulty for that person in this world and the next world. Allah gives more to us in return. Finally, I ask you to keep supporting the community work, the masajid, charities, and all altruistic work that is taking place in our communities, in your communities, and around the world. This is not a time to hold back. If you have the means, please continue to give and increase in giving. Now is the time to give, not to withhold. Charity wards off evil and protects from calamities, as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us in many sayings. Your charity now could be the means of your salvation and success during these times and beyond. Please continue to follow the advice of the government and your local masajid. And on this point, we no longer have access to the masajid. And this should be the case as a preventive measure. But that doesn't stop us from making thousands and millions of masajid in our homes. You need to, dear brothers and sisters, make sure you pray your 5-time prayers a day, as we mentioned. This is the key to relief and success, and where you'll find the strength to live through these difficult times, as those before us did so. But you have to resort to the prayer. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah. O you who believe, seek help and aid from patience and from the prayer. We must pray. Make your homes a place of prayer. Pray together as families. Pray extra prayers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. And finally, please follow our YouTube channel, our guidance hub, as we will, as previously mentioned by Sheikh Al-Rashid, we'll be moving our classes and events online where possible. Thank you for listening. And with my heartfelt du'as and well wishes, and with the dua, I'll finish. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ameen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. ربنا لك الحمد ربنا لك الشكر. All praise be to you, Allah. To you belongs all thanks, and to you is all praise. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. All loves and salutations, peace and blessings upon your noble Prophet, the chosen one, the Ummi Prophet, his family and companions. O Allah, we seek your forgiveness for our shortcomings and mistakes. O Allah, we ask you for protection, for well-being in these difficult times. O Allah, we ask you to give us the strength to pray our 5 daily prayers. O Allah, we ask you the strength to have patience during these difficult times. O Allah, ennoble us with patience, ennoble us with gratitude, and ennoble us with concern and kindness towards others in these difficult times. O Allah, allow us to follow and embody the prophetic characteristics, both in our inward morals and manners and our outward actions, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, grant relief to those who are ill, grant cure to those who are in sickness, grant well-being to all around the world. O Allah, those who have passed away, whether recently or before, have mercy upon their souls. Grant them the best of stations in their graves and the heights of paradise, Ya Rabbil Alameen, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. O Allah, forgive us for any shortcomings, any mistakes we have made today or in our lives. O Allah, bless the community that is around us and the global community of Muslims around the world, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, protect our children. O Allah, protect our elderly. O Allah, protect the vulnerable and give them the best of lives and the best of endings, and make our ending, Ya Rabbil Alameen, upon La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi sallam. ربنا تقبل منا بجاه النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وبسر الفاتحة. آمين.